Hey, it's Kat Bambini, Peace Punk Production. Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the new viewers. We've been getting a few stragglers here and there. I'm not going to call you a straggler, no offense. Thank you for being here. So today, I'm just going to ask Spirit and the angels for my topic. They want me to talk about... Okay, there's a mix between anger and depression. Let's talk about depression. Oh God, such a fun topic. So, a lot of people struggle with depression. Obs, right? And there's a lot of people that will tell you when you have depression that you need to just get over it, right? I know everybody's nodding that has depression. Nobody who doesn't struggle with it is probably watching this channel. I don't know if that made sense. Hopefully it did. So I've struggled with depression during my life, and it does run in my family. It's what we call genetic pessimism, genetic depression, and my intention in making these videos is to give you some tools to, 111, twin flame, my timer, to get through that and to not live in it. I used to think that was something that I couldn't control. A lot of people have a depression that's physiological. I do know a couple people, I have some friends who I've been really hard on in the past, including ex-partners, because they struggled with depression. And I won't say who, I've dated a lot of people, but you know, I was hard on them. And I told them that they needed to just get over it. And I was like, you need to get up, you need to do your yoga, you need to do this and that, the other, because I had forced myself to do those things. So when I get up now, because I don't like the negative tapes in my head that seem to come from my programming, from my culture, from my religion, from my family, of putting myself down, putting my art down, putting everything down, and just being scared, having a poverty mindset, feeling like I'm always going to be broke. I'm always just whatever thoughts create that reality. So I really do believe your thoughts are energy, and those thoughts create your reality. So you can watch the video on positive affirmations if you want to talk about changing that programming. And I really recommend having a morning routine, which is another video you can watch. And there's also a video on sleep, which recommends deep sleep. So I'd recommend that. There's also a video called Getting Out of a Funk, which is similar to this. But this is about dealing with depression when you have it already. So if you have depression and you have a low level chemical imbalance, and there's nothing you can do to get rid of it, which I've struggled with at different times in my life based on what was going on in my life, how much stress I had, it can be exacerbated by not having a routine or a schedule. And it can be exacerbated by being around toxic, angry people. So first, when you're dealing with depression, this is probably why the angels wanted me to talk about this today, check your environment. Because many times in my life, when I have felt physically ill or depressed, it's been that I'm in an environment which is not in alignment with my life path, my goals, and my values. And I've been around people who were not encouraging me to follow my life path, my goals, and my values. And I didn't realize this until I had some extreme experiences and had to remove myself from some situations and started feeding myself positive affirmations, doing yin yoga, sitting in the sun every day, getting outside to walk when I can, you know, mask on and everything, and started doing work that was fulfilling to me. Even if I wasn't making money at it, I just started. Even this channel, the narcissism videos that I took down that were before this, they were a labor of love. I didn't make any money from those. They get monetized, you know, obviously because you need a certain amount of people to monetize, but they taught me a lot and they gave me a passion project. So the reason I'm sharing it with you is if you find your passion projects, if you find your routine, if you feed yourself positive affirmations, and you might need to get on medication temporarily if you're having depression, even if you're in a toxic environment and it's the people around you causing it, sometimes you just need to function. And I totally want to stand here and encourage you to do that. Somebody needed this today. A lot of times these topics are not things I would necessarily want to talk about, but they're what you need and what you want to watch. And hopefully the two correlate, but sometimes they don't. So struggling with it and struggling with people in my family who had it, it was really, really hard. And I always felt a weight on me. I always felt like I had extra resistance to push through. And so that made me tougher, actually. It made me more resilient. It made me more able to get through my journey and do what I love and share that with others and be unbreakable. So I've had the crap pummeled out of me many, many times. I've had depression so bad that I wanted to crawl into a hole and die. And I couldn't find the reason to live. And that's why I started reading philosophy, which sometimes helps. When I read Nietzsche, it really cheers me up. So I have the book here. I should read a quote to you, but I'd have to pull it out. This is what my camera is sitting on. But if you want to read Good and Evil, there's a section with little two-word sentences. Two sentence. There's a word for them. They're like what Oscar Wilde uses. I don't know if it's epigram, but they're little quotes that will cheer you up, basically. Unless you read the stuff about women, because he was definitely misogynist in his writing about women, and so I have a hard time with that. But otherwise, nihilism cheers me up. So you can find other things that cheer you up. You can start with making a list. And when you're depressed, I'm going to say this is just a coaching you through your depression and giving you a little spark of a mustard seed so you can grow from that, because this video is not going to cure your depression, okay? But it might give you hope somewhere in your body or your brain that you could get out of it. And that's what you need. So if you're watching this, just give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a high five, and give yourself points for that. So the first part of helping your depression, helping the chemical imbalance, is realizing you're not going to feel good all the time. And so sometimes you have to force yourself to do stuff. I know, it's awful. But if you do it, a lot of times, first, if you accept that you have the depression and you don't let it own you, because your feelings, you get to choose your feelings. You get to choose the ones you indulge in. If you have a low-level physical depression, you have an autoimmune, it's not necessarily a feeling, it's a physical malaise. It's a physical sensation that feels like there's a weight on you. And you might want to experiment and see if that's your environment. Can you go to a different place and do you feel better? And if you do, which I've found in my case, I would go to a different place and feel better. So the depression was environmental. So you want to distinguish, is it environmental? You want to see a doctor and find out if it's physiological, because they will look at you over a 2-week period and see if like you haven't been able to get out of bed, you don't have any will to live. And I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with this with the pandemic, and I am so not opposed to antidepressants for short term, even long term for some people. And antipsychotics, I've read about them, I've read about every medication, and I opted not to take them myself, but at times I've had to take them, and I have no problem saying that. There is, who was the model? Brooke. She talked about taking antidepressants after her postpartum depression. I think the more people talk about it, the more it's going to be acceptable. So environmental, is it physical? Talk to your doctor about that. Is it a lack of joy in your life? Is your job dragging you down? I know I had a situation where my job was really abusive, and I was seeking help from HR, and they were not doing anything because the person that was doing the things that were against Title X was in a high up position, and they didn't need me as much. And so it really hurt, and then people turned against me as well. And so if you're having that kind of situation at work, hang in there. If you're a woman dealing with sexual harassment, try to find partners, find pairs, find people you can group with. Don't go alone to HR. Try to get witnesses. And if nobody will take your side, just be there for other people, and then eventually you might have a group. That's what I did. Nobody took my side. They were like, you're tattooed, you must be asking for it, or something. I guess that's what they were thinking. Or they just didn't think, they thought I was being dramatic. And then it happened to somebody, and they were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So they were on my side, and we would walk together to the coffee, stuff like that. So I share this to say it might be your work environment, and some of these things are gonna take time. So, and having goals and a life purpose can really help with your depression, even if it's physiological. If you don't have things that you're working towards every day that you're happy about, of course you're depressed. If people around you are putting you down and telling you that you can't do the things you love and that you're stupid and calling you names, of course you're gonna feel depressed. So really take that into consideration. I think I'm gonna call this, diagnosing your depression, because really it's for the people who are struggling with it that don't know that that's what they're struggling with, and they're trying to narrow down what it is. And they might be dealing with somebody, a lot of people who watch my channel are dealing with people in their life or environment who are using them emotionally, putting them down, and just being toxic around them, and they don't know how to deal with it. So we're going to talk a little bit in the future videos about boundaries. We're going to talk about manifestation. We're going to talk about money. But today I just wanted to reach out to those of you in the pandemic who are struggling with depression and just let you know you're not alone. And that's really what the core is of what I want to tell you today. You're not alone, okay? And there's people here even extra, more than extra. You may think everything's saturated, but there are more frontline people from what I've seen, at least in my area. You'll have to check yours out, who are really interested in helping. They found their calling and they're like, this is what I want to do. So don't feel like there's nobody there to help you. Don't feel like you shouldn't go to a doctor. Don't feel like you're a burden, okay? Because that's a huge part of depression, is feeling like you're a burden, comparing yourself to everybody else, and feeling like you're never gonna get better, okay? So if you know that that's okay, there's another trick you can use from the I Ching or yoga, which is accept where you are. I know you don't want to. I know when I'm depressed a lot of times, like this morning I was angry. It was stupid stuff, like my phone wasn't working, my earbud wasn't working, and I was like yelling at it. And that doesn't happen very often, so I know that something is going wrong physiologically, okay? If you're getting really angry, that's a huge sign of depression. That was a huge symptom for me. 1111. Say your I ams. I am positive, I am healthy, I am happy, I'm overcoming my depression. So I do every 1111 or 1212 is say positive affirmations, because you want to have a timer or something during the day that reminds you to say positive affirmations. You do not want those negative things going in your head. And that's the last thing I'll add, is that what you eat and what you say and what you watch are all going to affect your mood. So if you're watching psycho killer movies and really depressing TV all the time, if you're eating junk food and sugar and crap, if you are hanging around people who are putting you down, if you're not sleeping, watch my video on sleep. You really need to sleep. These days I just force myself to. I know there's ways to have sleep hygiene, like go in another room. If you can't sleep, I'll do that. I'll do something else for a little bit and then I'll go back. Or I'll just put on some really soothing music and I'll just try not to think about, you know, all the things that are going through my head. Because I know a lot of people with depression also have the rumination. 1212, I am positive. Okay, so that's all I want to say about this today. And I just want to say to you, it gets better. There are people that can help you. Somebody needed this today. This wasn't my plan. But if that one person gets it and they feel motivated to go get some help and they feel like they can get out of this and they feel like they can get better, then I've done my job as a light worker. So, angels, is there anything else you want me to say? I say keep up the power of positive thinking, people. You're doing really good, okay? I don't know, they're watching you guys if you've asked for them. Some of you have probably talked to angels. You watch my video on talking to angels. I might need to update it, but it's up to you if you want to talk to angels or not, or believe in them or not. I know that I have people who watch who are skeptics, who are atheists, who are like, oh my god, she's cuckoo. You know, I don't care about that. All I care about is that my angels are awesome. Your angels are awesome. Everybody has a guardian angel. You can look for it. And if you don't believe in that, that's cool. As a nihilist, I say you make your own meaning. Okay. Now, that's a conundrum for you. But yeah, have a peaceful day, you guys, and write in the comments if you want, you know, feel free. Somebody did on the last video and I was so happy. She's like, I'm so sorry I'm writing so much, but thank you for contributing. I really enjoy when you guys write in the comments, and as long as I'm small, I can write back to everyone. So feel free to ask questions and hang in there, okay? And if you're having a hard time with some of these basics, just look back over the earlier videos and then we're just gonna keep going. And if you want to hear about anything about self-care, living a positive path, anything with positivity and changing your mind, your mood, just put a request down below and I'll see if I can accommodate it. All right? Peace out, guys. Ladies, gentlemen. Have a great day.